Jade Stevens, and I'm a jaded marketer. I love what I do. I love marketing. I love coming up with creative campaigns and putting them into action. At the same time, I'm Mugatu from Zoolander. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I don't understand what's going on at times. I don't understand where our KPIs came from. I don't understand why we're pausing all of our campaigns because the sales director has a quote-unquote really good idea for marketing. I don't understand why the CEO asked our CMO to jump and they responded with, "How high?" instead of, "Why?" Marketing sucks sometimes. We have no budget, we get into trouble with legal, sales hates us but needs us but takes the credit for everything. If sales are down, it's marketing's fault. If sales are up, it's sales' win. Marketing is the first department to get axed during layoffs. And yet, we do it, because it can be a great industry. When it's good, it's good. But a lot of that depends on where you work. Unfortunately for me, I'm apparently cursed as I found myself doing this job that I enjoy at horrible companies or under managers that crawled up straight from the depths of Hades. I can't be the only one struggling. I can't be the only one who wants to scream out, "Nobody cares!" during company all hands, or when the C-suite pats themselves on the backs for a profitable quarter while forgetting to talk about the mass layoff they just did. I'm exhausted. Honestly, I'm just jaded at this point. I'm not equipped to play the political games and tell a director who doesn't know their ass from their elbow that they're an amazing leader and thank you so much for dumping this highly unorganized product launch on our laps 5 days before it's supposed to go live and we have no resources, budget, or messaging. Great. This is not a podcast filled with toxic positivity. Sometimes things just suck and we need to talk about it and hopefully laugh along the way and keep seeking that light at the end of the tunnel. This podcast is a collection of stories from my tenure as a marketer or things I've noticed about the state of our industry. Some will be funny, some will be rage-inducing, and some will hopefully resonate. I wanted to share my experiences for those that feel like they're missing something and wondering if every meeting is just a joke. For those that don't buy into some of the corporate bullshit and just want to punch some colleagues in the throat. For those that want to just do their job, do it well, and enjoy it along the way, even if they're a bit jaded at this point. I am not grateful. You know, it'd be so refreshing. Honesty. The LinkedIn lunatics talk about how honest and genuine people should be on LinkedIn, and yet we still see a flood of, "I was impacted by the layoffs at Shits McGee Company and want to say how grateful I am for my time there and the people I got to work with. Thank you to the leadership team for giving me a great place to work and grow for the last 5 years. Wishing everyone's still there the best." Oh, fuck off. You're wishing them the worst. If leadership was actually any good at what they do, you wouldn't be writing this. Why can't we be honest? Okay. I know why we can't be honest, as it's unprofessional. But it's also unprofessional that these companies are so poorly mismanaged that they'll do layoffs just so the CEO and COO can get their bonuses and keep their best mates employed. Why is it always the directors and managers who get to keep their jobs? Who exactly are they going to be directing and managing when all the individual contributors are gone? Who is going to do the actual work? I'm so sick of seeing people have to kiss corporate ass and play this game. We say we want authenticity, but wouldn't it be more authentic to call out the problems? The toxic workplaces, the managers from hell, the poor decisions made above our heads that led to these layoffs? I'm frustrated that professionalism means we have to be quiet and meek. We don't want to be labelled as a problem when it isn't us. Hell, the irony is not lost on me doing this podcast anonymously. But I've got bills to pay, and no one wants to employ the jaded marketer. I wish LinkedIn, instead of wasting time copying the New York Times and their games, or copying Instagram and TikTok with videos, actually did something useful with their stealing. For the love of God, LinkedIn, steal reviews from Glassdoor and make them anonymous. One of your engineers can surely figure this out. This would be useful. This would help weed out terrible scam companies that post jobs that aren't actually open. This would help workers understand the real culture of a place instead of the pretty one HR curates. And it would help people move away from Glassdoor, which has become awful to use. I mean, seriously, have you tried to visit Glassdoor recently? You can't get in without writing a review, which is now scary as, allegedly, they're sharing reviews as personal information with companies. Or you click on one thing and they take you to their stupid community pages that no one asked for. Why are companies so hell-bent on doing all this extra crap no one wants? But back to the point at hand. I want people to be able to share their real experiences with companies and managers. Call out the toxic workplaces. Point the finger at companies that have had multiple layoffs in the past. I mean, seriously, why is it okay for companies to put people on PIPs when they miss one goal, but don't say bye to leaders who have approved mass layoffs? Plural. If you have to do more than one round of layoffs, you better start laying off directors, as their directions are obviously incorrect and ineffective. If you have to do more than 2 layoffs in 5 years, the next person the company is saying goodbye to better be the CEO or the entire C-suite team. I am so sick of CEOs who get away with ruining people's lives and taking away their livelihoods, while they live at large. I'm sick of companies demanding their employees give them at minimum 2 weeks' notice when they leave, but these companies can turn around and send an impersonal email the day of and say, "Thanks for the hard work, but today is your last day." Why is our culture okay with this? Why is it that if I were to call out the company, I would look like the bad guy? Even in interviews, we tell currently employed people not to say bad things about their former or current employer because it will reflect poorly on them. For the love of Pete, why can't we be honest? Why can't we say that we're looking for a new job because our manager is a nasty credit-stealing piece of work? We've all worked with someone like that. Why can't we say we have standards and healthy boundaries and will not be taken advantage of by our workplace? I will give you 100% when I am on the clock, but I don't define my life by my 9 to 5. I'm not grateful for my time with the company who laid me off. I'm left jaded by the corporate world. I am jaded, yes, but I'll be damned if these so-called leaders take away my value and my self-worth. I'm jaded, but I will not become bitter. I will learn from this and move on. If you're also navigating a layoff, I wanted to share some things that might help. Feel your feelings. You're going to have a lot of emotions, and they will fluctuate like the internal temperature of a hot pocket. 1 minute, you might be frozen and numb to your feelings, but 2 seconds later, you're on fire and enraged. This is okay. This is normal. You will feel a lot of feelings. It's like any major event in your life. You might feel anxious, vulnerable, lost, overwhelmed, and so many other things. But keep in mind that this was not a personal attack against you. It wasn't about you at all. Feel bad about the situation, but do not feel bad about yourself. This is a reflection of the mismanagement of the company, not what you brought to the table. Acknowledge your feelings, allow yourself to experience them, and then move on. Leave the event in the past and focus on your future. File for unemployment. It's insurance. You and your employer have paid into this. Apply for those benefits as you are entitled to them. You have a right to that money since you didn't leave this job on your own accord. Even if you only hope you'll be on unemployment for a few weeks or a month or two, get what you're owed. Accept the help and get paid while you search for new employment. Calculate and cut. Having gone through layoffs before, I have learned to have a solid safety net in place. My savings account has at least 6 months' worth of living expenses. Now, obviously this tip is more helpful before a layoff, but keep it in mind when you do find employment again to build that savings back up. In the meantime, it's time to do some maths, especially subtractions. Figure out what expenses you can cut, like streaming services or subscriptions, and figure out where you can save. If you don't already, start using coupons. Save mailers offering deals and discounts. Buy groceries that are on sale. Trim your expenses as much as possible during this time. Network. Reach out to former colleagues and organizations to find out who's hiring and who can give you a referral. Your job right now is to get hired. It's highly doubtful former teammates will tell you to fuck off, and even if their company isn't hiring, they might know of a place that is. Breathe. Remember, this is temporary. This is not the end. As much as possible, make space for your hobbies. Apply for jobs and look for employment, but do not allow that to suck up your entire day, every day, or you will get burnt out and it will take a toll on your mental health. Doom scrolling through job boards won't help. Be realistic that this isn't simply a paid holiday, even if you receive severance, but do make room for fun. Take job applications seriously, but don't give up on the things that bring you happiness, such as spending time outdoors, reading, playing games with your family, painting, going on a walk with your pet, and so on. You need to prioritize your health and mental health, so when you find a new job, you'll be ready for it. So you can do interviews seeming like an unflappable professional instead of a frazzled pulling your hair out bowl of stress. Layoffs suck. That's all there is to it. Businesses can say it's not personal, but it is to the people it impacts. But do not let it rob you of your happiness and self-worth. This does not define you. You will get through it and you'll learn from it. It's okay to be jaded. We are not going to be hopeless. Toodaloo, my fellow jaded marketers.